a life I could have known, one beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. From my home, cracked and broken asphalt everywhere. I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain.
Hello. Let's get into it. This is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and this is One Street Over. What's going on One Street Over from where you live? And I don't know if you caught that Johnny Cash and the Old Rugged Flag. Whoa, I love Johnny Cash. Patrick Nix is in the house. He's here joining me for Faith Friday. I'm just a big old Johnny Cash fan. Love Johnny Cash. Never got to meet him for as many years as I was in Nashville while he was still around. That was one that I wish I had just, figured out a way to shook his hand, because I was this little girl in West Kentucky listening to Boy Named Sue over and over, and all that album that was on. Mom and Daddy had it, and I listened to it all the time because I just love Johnny Cash. But anyway, the old rugged flag, the Ragged Old Flag, that's a good one, man. Yes. That's a good one. That's just I love that, man.
You got to be careful, because the old ragged flag and the old rugged cross.
Yes. There's not get them mixed up.
I think he sang that one too. But
I'm sure he did. I mean, he was such a. I mean, he was like Elvis, that he did the hymns and all of that. A lot of the country stars do.
Yeah.
But anyway, so much going on. We're getting close to the 4th of July. I am going to be taking some time off. I'm going to take off a couple of weeks. Lee Marie's going to be filling in for me, and looking forward to that. And then when I get back, man, I'll just have my head down. We're just going to get it all the way into school. But so that's all. I'm going to take a couple of weeks off, and then Lee Marie's going to cover, and I'll be back after the 4th. But I'll be here through. I'm going to do Thursday show next week. And
nice. Good.
Take a couple of weeks off. But I do want to say something about, we normally, for a long time, Brother Jack Martin has been coming in here from the Greenbridge Church of Christ, and he is ill and could use your prayers. So y'all keep our brother, Brother Martin and Jack Martin in your prayers. And he has been, not well and been in and out of the hospital. Really, he was in here 2 months ago, I guess, and left and was pretty much in the hospital that weekend and has been in and out ever since.
Wow.
So keep Brother Mark, keep Jack in your prayers and all the things. And so thankful that when I called you, I was like, hey, I got this opening. Come on in
Yes.
here.
Well, I
And
appreciate it.
I wish I could get over to y'all's congregation and visit with y'all more because I really love what y'all are doing. Like I told you, I said, it feels like home. And you're 10 minutes from my house. I was just like,
No excuses.
I know. Well, but we've got so much going at our home congregation. And I'm going to have 7 grandkids by Christmas. Wow. And trying to keep, I'm telling you, there will be 3 Vivio girls born in 2026. We've already got one. She's 3 months old.
All right.
And then we've got one due in September, another girl, and we have another girl due in December. So that's going to skew the Vivio tribe numbers in the South to more girls than boys. And that's unheard of because, we're so boy dominant on both sides of the family, but we're super excited about it. But yeah, we're going to have 2 more girls between now and Christmas. And we're on the road a lot on Sunday, and I say this a lot. Sundays is a good day for us to go visit grands and kids and all that. So that keeps us going. But I really love what y'all do at Flu Ellen. I really do. Y'all got just such a beautiful group of folks there, beautiful spirit in there. Just love y'all a lot, man.
Catch me back up, though, the life of a teacher for summer. Okay, so
you see me smiling?
Yeah, I know normally you get in here and then you have to rush off to class and stuff. So what's that like for you guys to kind of catch your breath and,
it's nice because, and I don't know, ask me next summer because maybe I won't have just 1,000 things going on. This summer is a little bit crazy because we started a renovation in our house last year. And we had some things that happened. We've had either classes we've had to take every summer that we've been out so far since we've been teaching, and then we just had some nonsense we had to deal with last year that was just kind of that kind of upset the apple cart, Mm-hmm. And but that all got worked out. God is. He restores what the locust ate, and he restored it tenfold. But we had a rough summer last summer, so it was one of those things. We were anticipating having a summer off to work on the house, and it just didn't. We got some things done. So our house has been turned upside down ever since we started this renovation project.
Right.
So that's still going on, and I'm still trying to dig out where I've been going through my parents' possessions after we cleaned out the farmhouse, and I'm seeing all their stuff and thinking I need to clean out my stuff. So I've got a lot of projects this summer. So I'm busier than ever. It's just now I can spend time getting some things done that I have had to put to the back burner. So that's one of the reasons why I'm only taking, the little bit of time off that I'm taking off this summer because I need to be in here doing radio. So when I get off radio, I go home and get something done.
Gotcha.
So we're pretty busy.
Yeah.
And I'm anticipating having a summer, maybe next summer, where I don't have like 1,000 things going on, so I can spend extra time with my grandkids and all of that. And there's some of that, Mm-hmm. It was just like last night. Being able to, we were running some errands, and then we contemplated making a run to Sam's, and we ended up not doing it. But we thought about going to Sam's at like 7:00. We would have never done that, during the school year.
Sure.
So those kinds of things, and being able to hang out at church on Wednesday night and not rush off, because during the school year, Mark and I get up at 3:30.
Wow.
3:30, 4 o'clock at the latest. If we're gonna walk, we get up at 3:30. So, we get up super early. So, man, we've got to be headed to bed at 8 o'clock. Just got to be at 9 at the latest, or we're just dead tired by the end of the week.
Right.
So, that's kind of set aside. But my friend Muriel Barnett that taught for 31 years, she said her routine was she would take that first month. She would read books, and she would she would recharge. That was her months to go, okay, I'm just going to take, as soon as school was out, she would just take those weeks just to kind of shut down. And then she goes, after 4th of July, I start gearing back up to go back. So it's kind of, so she's probably a better, because I'm still trying to figure it out, but it's nice.
Yeah.
It's super nice because I've got some time to get some things done that I'm like, well, I'll have to get it done this summer. I'll have to get it done this summer, So, but for a teacher that was a veteran teacher, that's how she kind of handled it. She took that first month just to kind of reset. But then, boy, when that 4th of July hits, she's getting it going again.
Yeah.
And so, and for teachers that start sleeping in and they sleep in all summer and all that kind of stuff, and there's a few of those because I meet them in the hallway at school, and you can just see, man, it takes them like weeks to get acclimated back to a schedule.
They're probably still Labor Day trying to.
Yeah. So we stay on a schedule, and so I think that will help us not get into that lull, But I have to have a schedule. The concept of retirement for me is just, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. I would get bored out of my mind. But yeah, that's kind of what we do. But that, I think Muriel kind of painted it really well for most teachers. You have a moment where you just kind of reset. But then you've got a lot of teachers that there's some that are doing summer school. Some of them get summer jobs.
Yeah.
And anybody that's in administration that work in that central office up there, they just are like everybody else. They work a normal schedule and they have to schedule their vacation
Around the year.
Yeah. They don't get summers off. So I think a lot of people just assume if you work for the school system, you get summers off. That is not true.
Right.
If you're in a position, where you're any kind of a person in the administration, and that can be anywhere from, the executive assistants, the secretarial type stuff, accounting, any of that. You're around the year, know. Yeah. So.
Well, with so many, the Bible speaks about, that rhythm of rest. Reset,
I like how you segued that, brother.
Well,
Good
I'm just like, it's got me thinking, like you said, and I'm all for it because, whether it's one Sabbath a week, like that's what the Bible says. I don't think that we have to be slave to that. I think that's supposed to serve us. Right?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Some people make a law out of that. Well, it has to be, the Orthodox Jews, it has to be on a Saturday. It has to be from sundown to, that kind of thing. And Jesus addressed that. And he was like, no. The Sabbath was not made, man was not made for the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for man.
Yeah.
And so, and I think in a bigger segment, though, I think there needs to be a larger rhythm of rest, too. Not just like sleep every night or a Sabbath every week, but some kind of time to escape, to get away. And if it's for the summer for teachers, or my son's on a new job with the TVA, and they are doing crazy schedules. He'll do a week of like 4 on, 3 off, and then they will do days and then nights. It's just, I understand why they do it, because it's around the clock plant and they have to give everybody,
right,
the equal time. But, that's just, it's hard.
I can imagine.
And so, they have these flex weeks and off weeks just to kind of give you a break and allow you that time to reset. Because we all need it. I just got back from a sabbatical of sorts at church, just like taking some time, and we've all got to take that. So I'm glad for you.
Well, and I've got to, I love that word sabbatical, because I've got a lot that the Lord's doing in my head. And I've done something that I haven't done in a long time, just in the last couple of weeks, is I've just started listening to just a fiction novel, just something, just, entertainment kind of stuff. And I haven't done that in a long time because I've been I've had podcasts, I don't know if you know who Wes Huff is. I love Wes Huff. I've just been listening to everything he's
Wes Huff and Josh Howerton seem to be taken today by storm.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah, I love them. And I like Wes Huff. I could go down a rabbit hole, but then I'm so into all the archaeological stuff. And so I've just been listening to so much of that stuff. And I don't know why I thought I just needed, because I love fiction and reading and all that. And so I've been just kind of, really enjoying this little fictional book that I've been listening to. So that's kind of my little checkout. But to me, almost a sabbatical would be being able to just get in the Word and do nothing else for a solid week or so, and just absolute shut it all down, just go exactly where he's got me going and just make it that. Is that what a sabbatical is for you, or is it just checking out and just, because I think there can be different kinds. Because I think you can have like a spiritual and a ministry sabbatical where you're just doing that, and then the sabbatical where you just kind of, I'm just out.
Right.
And so
I think it depends on what you do.
Yeah,
And for me, I got on the mower the other day, and I enjoy that. I put on some headphones.
Yeah.
I listen to some music. And so, but some guys get on a mower every day. Mm-hmm. So a mower is not Sabbath rest for them. You know?
I got you.
And so,
I got you.
For me, I don't know do you do Christian fiction or just like random fiction, mysteries?
I really love historical fiction.
Okay.
I like science fiction.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'm a little bit, just a little all over the place, but I
ask
do
you
love
about this
Christian.
movie this weekend too. So
I love Christian fiction too. But what movie? I'm curious.
it's Spielberg's movie. You said science fiction, and so it's Disclosure Day. It's a science fiction.
Right.
And he made a prediction. He said that this is going to like really mess with a lot of Christians' faith.
Okay, well, I don't want to see it then. you know what I'm saying? It's like when I know something's really, because like this book that I'm listening to, one of the characters in it becomes an atheist because her parents get killed in a car accident.
Right.
And so that's the struggle.
Okay.
You're going to come up with people who go through those things. It's a time travel thing, so it's like, and so it talks about history and how history can change, the timelines and all that. So, I mean, it's just pure, nonsensical stuff. But when I get, if I feel like somebody's got an agenda and they're trying to mess with my faith, that infuriates me. Yeah. Don't. If that's your goal and you want to put that out, that's your right. Yeah. But I don't have to dip my toe in the water.
I don't know about Spielberg's motives.
Yeah.
But I know that the same thing was said of, and I went with my dad and watched a movie. He was a big fan of like the Alien movies.
Oh,
Sigourney
yeah.
Weaver.
Yeah.
So a movie came out when he was still alive. We went together. It was called Prometheus.
Okay.
And it was about how aliens were the intelligent creators who put us on Earth.
Right.
And this movie harkens back to that.
Okay.
And so the idea is that what if God wasn't the one who put us here? What if aliens did?
Yeah.
And so I mean, it's to me, it's
so
like
that's kind of what it is. What this one is. This Spielberg. Okay.
Yeah, and that the government knows and that people know, but they, there's a disclosure that everybody's going to find out and that kind of thing. And then and so I mean, to me, it just. Who put the aliens here? I mean, I don't think that's what happened.
No,
I'm pretty sure, but and then a friend and I were talking, and it was like, the Bible does say preach the gospel to every creature. So let's get them on board.
Well,
I don't know.
It's a big galaxy. It's a big world.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it's vast. I mean, whatever the Lord decides to do, whatever God decides to create, is up to him.
Sure.
But the life of Christ and what he did is so beyond question because of just what we see outside of Scripture, outside of the Gospels, man. What they're digging up in Israel is mind blowing.
Oh yeah.
And in proof of a life, it's like what's the quote? It says he's either crazy or
Liar, Lord, or lunatic.
Yeah. C.S. Lewis quote. He's a liar, Lord, or lunatic. And so when you look at that and the examples and the evidence, written evidence of miracles and the things that happened, and the apostles, all except for the apostle John, that went to their brutal deaths declaring that truth, I just, you know what I mean? And so I don't have to understand some of this thing that they call the unidentified flying objects and all that. And I don't know what it is, a lot of the times. And I think that too, there's been places where prophets describe things that they see, and you think, "Man, that would have probably seemed pretty alien if I had seen that." So, just, I don't.
To me, though, LaVern, it's always seemed like that genre of science fiction always tries to answer the question of how did we get here, why are we here, without the God at the top.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's true. That's true.
It seems like that's the effort. It's a human effort and so like when my dad and I walked out of Prometheus, it led to we were already Christians. It led to gospel conversations, and it led to things because we feel like we've got a foundation. It didn't shake our foundation at all.
Sure,
it made us realize how empty life is without God.
Yeah,
I mean, what kind of? I mean, what if there was no purpose? If we were just happy accidents at best,
Yeah.
And so to us, it was like, man, I'm so thankful that I'm fulfilled in Christ. That that's given me not just a purpose and an origin story, but so much more, in life and after. And so, yeah, I probably will see it, but I'm not afraid of being shaken.
I may see it simply because my students are going to see it.
Oh, yeah.
And, you have to, when you're looking at a debate situation, if you're looking, you've got to kind of know what this, just like the Da Vinci Code, all that mess.
Yep.
That comes up a lot when I listen to Wes Huff, because he talks about that a lot of the claims that people make about the Gospel of Barnabas, or different
Book
ones.
of Enoch and stuff.
Yeah,
right.
A lot of the stuff, in the Gospel of Mary or whatever, or the Gospel of Thomas is one you hear a lot about.
Yep.
That a lot of the things that people use and they quote is Da Vinci Code, because they saw that movie and they think, oh yeah, there's all these lost articles that have they don't have any foundation.
Right.
Go read the very last passage of the Gospel of Thomas. You can Google it, and it's like hundreds of years after when the apostles would have taught and wrote, and somebody adopted the name Thomas and wrote. It's kind of like how Wes says it. He says that they would take and assign a name of somebody that had authority or credibility to something. Mm-hmm. But it's obviously written way too late for it to be Thomas.
Right.
And when you read it, it's so anything that contradicts what was written by the witnesses, you have to toss out. And that's the case of that. When you read those last few passages in the Gospel of Thomas, you're like, what? It's bizarre. Right. And the Gospel of Barnabas, that's been discovered to be an absolute forgery. I mean, it's been proven that it is a forgery that was written much later. And I think there's like an echo of Dante's Inferno in it that you can kind of read it and you're like, where did they get that idea from? It's right. Very an obvious forgery. Wow. And so you see that kind of stuff and you go, okay, well, I don't want people going to this movie now and then going, well, Steven Spielberg made this great point, like, Dan Brown did with the Da Vinci Code, and think it's gospel. Sure. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So that's my concern with movies like that. But for us people of faith, we kind of need to know what they're hearing so we can say, oh, okay, well, let me speak to that. Right.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. So, Rob, I don't know if you know Rob at the Harvest Association. Rob Burdett. He leads the association, and he's big on history, and he's been reading a book about first and second century Christians, like not just church history, but Christian history.
Right.
And he was blown away. He keeps reporting back to me, and he's like, man, these guys, like second generation Christians. So you had like Paul and Peter and John and these guys. Well, then they reach out and they witness to Ignatius and Polycarp and these others. Yeah. And he was like, man, this was not accidental. They kept very defined records in libraries, and in the churches, they made sure to record every martyr and every missionary that went out from their church. And when they gathered and when they made a decision at a council, and he's looking at that bridge between what we would commonly look at, the Byzantine cross and Constantine in the 300s. And he's looking right now at that gap between Christ and when the church kind of became state religion, and approved, but before the Catholic Church, before a lot of that, and where it was during that time, and some of those important decisions about what made it in Scripture and why certain things didn't, and that's all recorded. But fiction is a very powerful thing, And I like some good fiction. I like some good Christian fiction, historical fiction. I like that.
I do too. And when you mentioned that how the aspect of how the fiction affects our faith, though, I can remember being in Bible class whenever the Left Behind series was huge.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And a question was asked by a woman who I don't know who she was. I think she was somebody visiting, and it bothers me how this was handled, but it was just kind of sporadic. But I had read the series and was intrigued by it, but I was like, well, I didn't, whatever. And so she asked a question, and everybody kind of looked at her like, well, where'd you get that from? And I said, did you read the Left Behind series? She says, yes. I said, that comes from the Left Behind series. And they all laughed at her.
Oh.
And I was like, well, that wasn't appropriate.
Right.
But that's what happens.
Sure.
You've got somebody that maybe they picked up the Left Behind series, and so they're questioning. And that was not my point. Right. My point was, I hear what you're saying, and I see where you got that, and here's,
sure.
where I think that's going. And it was a question about, are we going to be vegetarians in heaven? Because in the it was something to that degree, because in the Left Behind series, if I'm not mistaken, that after I don't know, when the ones that went on first at the rapture, after the rapture, they were in glory or heaven or wherever, and they were vegetarians, I guess, or something like that. I can't remember. I personally think the series is just I don't like it now. I mean, now that I've studied the things I've studied with some of these archaeological things, and I've studied some things about, like from Marty Solomon with the Bema podcast and all that, and kind of understanding Revelation a little bit better. I don't agree with the Left Behind series, but nonetheless, it had its place, and it made a lot of people very curious. Let me pause and do a break. I'm saying we'll go on, and it's already at the half hour, and I got three. I got 3 breaks to do. Okay. It doesn't take long, does it, man? We could just sit here and chit chat all day. But let's go ahead. And we need to talk about our friends at the UPS store. They have got some great deals going on for you right now. They have got a new coupon out, and you have got 10% off wide format prints. 10% off